You're watching the Self-Determination Channel.
Self-Determination Channel Sunburst logo. Our voice, our lives. The video's hosts are displayed in their own square with an orange background. Cindy is an African-American woman wearing a black headscarf. Philip is a young adult white male with short hair and glasses. Sydney is a young adult white female with shoulder-length brown hair.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
I'm Philip.
And I'm Sydney. On today's episode of In the Spotlight, we are talking about the importance of voting in local elections.
Title appears: In the Spotlight, shining a light on voting in local elections.
Our guest is Stephanie Birmingham, an advocacy coordinator for Options for Independent Living.
Stephanie is a white woman with short brown hair. She is seated in a power wheelchair.
One of Wisconsin's 8 independent living centers. She's a powerful advocate who is passionate about voters' rights. Welcome to In the Spotlight, Stephanie.
Thanks, Sydney. I'm really happy to be here today.
Could you tell us why local elections are so important?
There's lots of different elected officials and positions that are voted and decided upon at the local level that have a direct impact on our lives, whether that's voting for our school board, voting for our mayor, perhaps it can be even voting for your district attorney. Of course, state and national federal positions and offices are important as well, but oftentimes people feel the most impact of certain policy changes at the local level. Another thing about local elections is oftentimes voter turnout is much lower than when it comes to presidential elections or elections that have a lot of state offices that are up for a vote. So just a single vote or just a handful of votes can make all the difference. So your vote really, really matters.
Stephanie, you mentioned school board elections. I'm not in school anymore and I don't have kids in school. Why is it important for me to vote for a school board member? Why should I care?
School boards make a lot of decisions. They set policies, decide on curriculum, and they help make decisions about what students in K through 12 are going to learn. They also make important decisions about what a school's budget's going to be. And that is making decisions about where our money as taxpayers is going. So maybe we're not in school anymore ourselves, but when we think about kids, it's important that we think about how we're investing in their education, because ultimately we're investing in our future.
My city council has seats up for election this year. What does a city council do?
One of the things to know about city council persons is that they can go by different names and different titles. In one place, they might be called a city council person. In another place, they might be called an alderperson and even a common council person. But really, it's about the same position being voted for. They're the direct person who's going to represent you when it comes to decisions at the city level. And ultimately, they're the ones who will approve the city budget. So deciding how is the city going to spend taxpayer money? And that can be really important because that affects things like your roads, your trash pickup, what your city parks may or may not look like, things that maybe sometimes we don't even realize. We just know that is taken care of. But you have the opportunity through your city council person to let him or her know your thoughts and your feelings about the way your city is spending its money and the way your city is operating.
So where I live, Stephanie, we're voting for a new mayor. What other local offices should we be aware of?
So if you think about having 2 circles, the smaller circle would be your city leaders.
The small circle lists city leaders as mayor, city council person, alderperson, and school board member.
And then the circle right around that would be your county leaders. County board and county executives. They are making decisions about how funds from our tax dollars, from the state government and from the federal government, how that money is being spent and spread across all different programs, departments, and different needs. Mental health services, certain disability-related services, county parks. It's important to ask yourself, what is it that's important to you when you're thinking about how you'd like to see your city, your county, different leaders spend money that can meet not only your needs, but needs of those who you care about. So Cindy, what do you do to help yourself become more informed about who's on your ballot?
Newspaper, we got 7 people running for the mayor, so I got to read up on it. And I watch the news. I actually listen to almost all the forums, and I write down certain things. You need to know who you're voting for and who's going to help you the most.
It sounds like you've given a lot of thought about preparing for the coming election. So there's different resources that are available to anyone who maybe it's their first time voting, they haven't voted in a while, or they just aren't quite sure what to do. myvote.wi.gov.
Screenshot of My Vote Wisconsin website. Cursor clicks on different tabs.
That's a website that you can go to check to see if you're registered to vote. And then if you're not sure, where do I go to find my polling location? You can find that information out, and you can even find out who's going to be on your upcoming ballot. If you find that you're not registered, disabilityvote.org has all the resources that you need to learn how you can get yourself registered.
Thanks for the information, Stephanie. I live out in the country, so I have to have a plan to vote.
Really glad you brought it up, Sydney, because living in the country can make it a bit more difficult to access your polling location, especially if you're someone that is a non-driver.
Screenshot of disabilityvote.org appears, showing resources and a Make Your Plan to Vote handout.
If you visit disabilityvote.org, you'll find that one of the resources is all about making a plan to vote.
Already requested my absentee ballot for all the elections of the year.
Thank you, Stephanie, for being here today. And it was a delight to have you on our channel.
Thanks, Cindy. I always like being able to talk about the importance of voting and encouraging others to get out and vote.
We've posted a lot of good information in the comments below.
Big red arrow pointing down to more resources appears. Thumbs up icon appears.
If you liked this video, give us a thumbs up.
Screen shows, please subscribe with an arrow pointing down and the Wisconsin Board for People with Developmental Disabilities logo.
If you haven't already, please subscribe. It helps us out.
Self-determination is empowerment appears as you hear the pop.